Karma Mini.
Yadaksharam ved vido vadanti vishanti yad yatayo vitaragah yad icchantu brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshye. Persons learned in the Vedas who utter Omkara and who are great sages in the renounced order enter into Brahma. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. Sarvadvarani sanyamya manohridi nirudhya cha murdhyadhayatmanah pranam astito yoga dharanam. The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life air at the top of the head. One establishes himself in yoga. So this is called pratyahar. One has to stop seeing the external beauties, external forms, and see the beauty of the Lord within the heart. One has to stop hearing all the external sounds, and one has to hear the Omkara from within and pulling the senses within. This is called pratyahar. Then a person is able to advance to the stage of samadhi. Om ityekaksharam brahma vyaharan mamanusmaran yah prayati tyajan deham sayati paramam gatim. After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. So Om is impersonal representation of Krishna. So the understanding of personality of Godhead requires very advanced stature in spiritual life. So those who are not able to understand the person of God, then for them the name Krishna is name of a person who appeared 5,000 years ago. They take more interest in chanting Om, but still they have to think of the personality of Godhead. This bhakti is important, but they think that this person, this form is not to be ultimately attained. It is also an imaginative form, a temporary form which is made up of Maya, material energy. Just like all of us pick up temporary forms, this Krishna's form is also temporary. It is made up of material energy. But still, they have to meditate upon the form of Krishna if they want to have any substantial achievement. A tinge of bhakti is required everywhere. Whether a person wants to simply do Ashtanga Yoga, merge in the body of Krishna, go to Brahma Jyoti, attain whatever, this tinge of bhakti is required. But when a person is having pure bhakti, then he does not go for some impersonal liberation, but goes to have a personal form for himself, and he sees personally Supreme Lord face to face. So such persons, they chant Om, and then they go and merge either in the Brahma Jyoti or in the body of Krishna. But if they are able to understand this Om is nothing but Krishna only, his impersonal representation, and in this way they are able to think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, understanding this form is not illusory, made up of material energy, that is completely spiritual, then they are also able to attain the spiritual kingdom. So thus it is completely a matter of consciousness. Two yogis are sitting, both are chanting Om, leaving their bodies, but it depends upon consciousness. Both may be thinking of Krishna. One is thinking of Krishna as some temporary form, another is thinking of Krishna as an eternal Satchidananda form. The end results are different. Ananya cheta satatam yo mam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabhav partha nityayuktasya yoginaha. For one who remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. So here unalloyed pure devotional service is being explained. In the previous verses, these paths impersonalists also can take. They can also sit, put the pranavayu in between the eyebrows and raise the soul to the top of the head and then go for the spiritual atmosphere. They may attain impersonal liberation also. But here pure devotional path is recommended. Ananya cheta satatam, one who remembers me without deviation. Satat means constantly. Mam smarati nityashaha, Mind is absorbed in me, consciousness is absorbed in me. Tasyaham, aham means I, tasya to them, sulabha. Sulabha means very easily attainable. The previous process we saw, it's not easy. Going in the mountains and doing Ashtanga Yoga, Arjuna rejected. So Arjuna may ask that, Krishna, why you are again telling this to me? I just told I cannot do this. So Krishna is telling no. So this is the principle. Ordinarily, if a person has no proper attachment for me, then you have to control your senses, do this artificial mechanical process so that the mind and body do not get pulled away by the material nature. So bring it in a state of equilibrium, no disturbance. But the devotees who are nitya yuktasya yoginaha, those yogis who are always engaged in my service, constantly absorbed in thoughts of me, for them I am easily attainable. They need not bother about this external arrangements. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gatah. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. Important word used in this verse is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Why we are so much engaged day in and out? Because we think, if I work in this fashion, I will become happy. I will get sukha. But the Supreme Creator has put a label on this world, in this creation, and that label is, Krishna has mentioned here, dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This place is dukh alay. Alay means abode and dukkha means misery. This place is abode of miseries. Now, if we go to mental asylum and we want to find a sane person there, that is not the nice place, we'll be frustrated. Similarly, if we want happiness here in this world, we will only meet with more and more frustration. Because this place is dukkhalayam. Always there will be misery in this place, and that is why we have realized in our life, the whole world, they are now having departments of consciousness. This is the course most enrolled and in some of the Ivy League colleges. People want to understand, now we have studied enough of technology and other subjects. Now please teach us, how do we become happy? Happiness course curriculums are there in many good schools now. People want to explore. So Krishna is telling, rest assured, you will never be happy in this world, because this world is dukkhalayam. It is full of miseries. You may tell, no, I am very happy, I am situated. Not, it's why you are so pessimistic. We are not pessimistic. You might be happy for some time, but Krishna is telling ashashvatam, that situation is temporary. That so-called happiness is also illusory, what we are feeling, but even if one is satisfied in that, Krishna is telling ashashvatam, we all know that is temporary. By force of time, this situation will go away. So we have to understand, in this material world, there is only misery. So if we are planning, after some time I'll be happy, no. The solution is to move away from this material world, asatoma sadgamaya, to the spiritual world, transport ourselves. Human life is meant for tapasya. And if one is very sincere, one meets a pure devotee, even in this life, one can, even though the body is visible in this material dimension, person will be completely undisturbed if we are situated on spiritual dimension. This training we need to acquire as soon as possible if we want to become happy now before death in this life. So for a devotee, Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate, for him, entire world is full of happiness, because even though the body appears to be present in this visible dimensions, the soul, the person proper, is always absorbed on spiritual plane. So if we are also able to transport ourselves to the spiritual plane, we will not be conscious of these physical miseries around us. So how to elevate ourselves to the spiritual plane even while living within this body? This is the art which is called Krishna consciousness. So this we need to learn. So they are called great souls who know this art. Mahatma, who are the Mahatma? They attain some siddhi, the topmost perfection of life. And such people, na apnuvanti, they don't come back to this material world which is full of repeated birth and death. Mam upetya, because they have attained me. Those people who attain personal association of Krishna, they don't return to this material world.